republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As a Windermere Hawk, I promise to practice the Windermere way. I am respectful, responsible, and ready to learn.
Join us for March Book Madness!
Hi, my name is Lova. I'm the oldest student. She could not read a book. She learned how to read a book in a reading school. I like that she's the oldest student because it's fun to be the oldest. I hope you vote for the oldest student.
Just some great books!
Me neither. There's nothing more important than following your conscience. If you can do that, you're always going to sleep well.
Do you know what that's called, what Arthur did?
A sit-in?
It's a sit-in, right? A sit-in is a type of a protest.
He wasn't supposed to wait there. He was supposed to go to class.
Do you think that it is ever okay to break rules?
If there is something that's unfair going on, then you can break rules because that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So Destiny, if you saw somebody being treated unfairly just because of the color of their skin, what would you do?
I would go up to the person who was being mean and tell them to stop because that's not right.
That's good. That's what we're supposed to do. Stand up when people aren't doing what is right.
What does your school teach you to do when you see people being treated unfairly?
Stop, act, report. You say stop, and if they don't stop, go with a different group. And if they still don't stop, then you report to a teacher.
We do talk about racism
While we're eating dinner.
That's true, and sometimes those conversations are not always fun, and sometimes they make us sad. But why do you think we have those conversations?
We should be learning about what's happening, because then we can do something about it.
That's right. There's the little things that everybody can do to stand up, to take action. That's you going with me to vote. You know, if we hear people or see people being treated badly, we say something right away.
We all have our little part in the world.
When we went to the Black Lives Matter protest, what do you remember from that?
I remember we stood up and we held up our signs.
Do you remember what our sign said?
Me and my brothers said peace, and my mom said Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. And why did Mommy have a sign that said Black Lives Matter?
Because people aren't treating black people fairly.
That's right. And that black people need to be treated as fairly as everyone, right?
Yeah.
I went down to the Black Lives Matter Plaza and I protested in the rain.
Really? Tell me more about that. What types of people did you see down there?
I saw a lot of black people, a lot of white people. There was like 1,000 people there.
Wow.
I took a stand. I was kind of nervous because I didn't really know what could happen. But then when I went there, I was like, oh, I feel great.
That's great.
I just want it to be equal so everybody can just have a good life.
I agree with that, Ray.
I would really love to make a change in the world.
How so?
I can express my feelings by art like you do, by music, and by writing, poetry.
Yeah.
I like fighting. I'm not going to use the word fighting.
That's right.
I'm going to use the word, what was the word?
Advocating.
I'm going to keep advocating to get what we should have, which is equal rights, because you should be proud of being black. And that's what me and you are proud of.
This is just the beginning of our conversations about race and racism. And there's a lot of things that I don't know, a lot of things you don't know. Together, we can figure out a lot of these tough, hard questions. And even in the future, I hope that there's an open communication between us. Yeah.
There is no one right way to talk about racism, and as long as we can start to build those conversations from a respectful place, I say we talk about it more. It's time.
Yeah.
I really enjoy having this conversation with you today.
Me too.
I love you.
Me too.
Even with all our differences, we are all parts of the same race, the human race, which means we're all in the same big, beautiful family. Change doesn't happen all at once. It happens bit by bit. It happens when one person starts to speak up, and then another person, and another, until all those voices are just so loud, they have to be heard. And when we use our voices to celebrate our similarities and differences, to talk about racism, and to stand up for ourselves and each other, we can make things fair for everyone. Writing poetry is my favorite way to use my own voice. This is a poem I wrote called Talking Gets Us There. It's normal to notice what makes us different, because what makes us different is what makes each of us so special. There's beauty in every type of face and in every type of freckle. From the curl of your hair to the color of your skin, no one is exactly the same, not even twins. But across time and place, people have been treated unfairly just because of their race. So heroes get into good trouble. They have to struggle for a long while, but when they win, it's worth every mile. People of color still experience racism today. So it's up to all of us to say enough is enough, to speak out with all our hearts. And that starts at home, starts with asking questions about race when we're taught about it. Together, I know we can tackle racism. But first, we have to talk about it. Thank you for spending this time together with me and PBS Kids. Keep talking. It will get us there.
Our Windermere third graders spent time this year learning about the events and people who shaped Upper Arlington. In honor of Black History Month, I want to highlight a man named Pleasant Litchford. Up until recently, his story remained untold. He was a slave who was freed and moved to this area around the year 1830. He bought a lot of land that later became part of our city. Pleasant was a master blacksmith and community leader for area African Americans. He even built a school for Black children so they would not have to travel so far to attend school. That school is now gone and used to sit where our Senior Citizen Center sits today, next to Tremont Elementary School. I wish I had a picture of him to show you, but none have been found. Even though we do not know what his face looks like, him and his family are an important part of what shaped Upper Arlington. Our third graders included Pleasant Litchford's contributions to our community on the keynote timelines they made this year because we all deserve to have our story told.
Third grade learned about local history. We made keynote timelines to share our research.
Maybe you would like to know more about the people and events who shaped our community. Ask your teachers to airdrop to you one of 2 interactive keynotes that Mrs. Trainer's class made to explore Upper Arlington's history.
Go Bears!
Happy birthday